hearts.
On After 8 this morning, concern over the way teenagers spend their free time. This is what summer nights look like in most American towns. Kids just hanging out. They're not up to anything bad necessarily, they just have no place to go. It annoys the residents, and it's not much fun for the kids either. But in Greenwich, Connecticut, there is something a little different. It is called the cafe.
Yeah, this is even bitter.
Nothing. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, and Christ Episcopal Church Parish is being turned into a nightclub. Industrial is the music format of choice, and soft drinks are the only beverages available. The cafe has a no alcohol, no drugs policy. It's also no adults. The cafe is run by kids for kids.
Is everybody supposed to be working 2 security shifts tonight?
The cafe operates as a non-profit corporation, and the 425 members signed a pledge when they joined to respect the rules.
This place is owned by the people who come here, not by one guy. We don't take care of it. We can't come here anymore.
Perkin Cadis is a musician.
With a lot of my friends are under 21. It's hard to get into bars and stuff, and this is a place that's all ages, so it's not a problem with that, with alcohol, and it's kind of nice to play for people who aren't really drunk all the time.
I like the music. It's 4 blocks away from my house, and I can get in here without a fake ID.
You guys turn your name here.
Members sign in their guests and take responsibility for them. Before 8, admission is free. That's because the cafe wants members to attend The Talk, a discussion about controversial issues, like euthanasia. They talk for an hour.
I mean, everything seems to point towards suffering as being the ultimate way of admission to heaven.
Then the lights go out and the sound goes up. The town trusted the kids, and in its 6 years of operation, the cafe has been trouble-free. The director of the cafe, Jeff Moran, this morning is at the parish hall of the Christ Episcopal Church in Greenwich, where the club holds its meetings. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
What makes the cafe work?
It's the kids. Right from the beginning, it was the kids who started this program. We have taken a big chance in saying, you guys, this is going to be your space. And we empower them. We say, you take responsibility for it. And they've really risen to that challenge.
Kids only want to go where it is cool to go, though. What about the cafe makes it cool?
The cafe is straight edge. It's very, it goes straight forward. The kids come here not because they're leaving drugs and alcohol. They're coming here because we provide an alternative. They are ready to take on controversial issues. They're ready to support each other. I mean, they see this as a space for themselves, but they also see this as a space where they can support others. They give other kids an opportunity to say, I don't have to be hanging out in the streets. I don't have to be at somebody's house just because their parents aren't away. We can create a space.
It's been in existence for 6 years. You now have 425 members. Do you have any evidence that what you've done there has made a difference in the loitering problem?
Yeah, some of those things are difficult to quantify. There are 4,000 teens in Greenwich alone. We can take in 425 or so a year. We're going to also accept a certain type of student who's going to come here. We're trying to broaden it as much as possible, but there will be certain kids who will not feel comfortable here. We have our own places where kids loiter. McDonald's around at Exit 5 and some other places.
Oh, so that's where we have to go tonight. Okay, McDonald's, Exit 5. Synchronize your watches. Jeff, hang on for just a second, because a town in Pennsylvania has come up with a very different solution to the teen loitering problem. Allentown just voted in a curfew, and Dan Bartlett is the Community and Police Relations Coordinator. Good morning.
Good morning.
How much, first of all, is loitering? How much of a problem is it?
To the residents who live in the neighborhoods in inner city, it's a significant problem. It's a problem of nuisance to them and also some associated crime.
Is it just an inner city problem there?
Well, no, we have two distinct groups of kids in Allentown. We have the middle and upper class teenagers, and we also have the inner city teenagers of a lower socioeconomic group.
What was it that fueled the call for a curfew?
Primarily the inner city problems. Kids who are out on the sidewalks, inner city at 2 o'clock in the morning making a lot of noise, some of them involved with the drug activity and so on, and this disturbed a lot of the residents.
Greenwich, Connecticut is a relatively wealthy community. Do you think that a cafe set up like what they have would work in Allentown?
For some of the youth, yes, I think it would work. The outlying youth, certainly, it would definitely work. They have a different environment to begin with and a different upbringing. For the inner city youth, it might be a little more difficult because of the behavior patterns they're already locked into.
What kind of a resistance would you face in the community if you tried to implement something like that?
I'm not really sure. At inner city, I think we'd face some pretty strong resistance. The anger level is quite high, which is why council voted for this curfew. My office, the mayor, and the chief of police, Wayne Stevens, are very much against the curfew. We view it as trying to treat a broken bone with aspirin. It temporarily relieves the pain, but it doesn't cure the broken bone.
Yeah. Jeff, from all you've heard here, do you think a setup like the cafe would work in Allentown?
It would clearly have to be a very different sort of thing. The cafe has been very much tailored for this community. When Bruce Marchowder founded this 6 years ago with a group of students, it was designed for the needs of the student. I think what we're seeing across America is a disenfranchisement of students. There's a need if there's loitering. They want to create their own space. That's what happens in loitering. What we want to try and do, and I think the cafe concept could be applied to Allentown, Pennsylvania, is have the kids' energies be diverted and focused into something positive and not negative. Have them, it's a chance. There was a lot of skepticism that we faced when we first opened our doors. It would have to be something tailored to the needs of the students there. You need a leader there who could listen to those students and say, hey, what is it you could create? What can we pull students together around?
Dan, do you think you want to go back home and try it now?
Well, indeed, we've tried something similar to the basic tenet of the cafe principle, which is involving the kids directly in the solution process. We did that at the schools this past spring when we had some incidents, and the, quote, troublemaker group of kids, as they were perceived, were directly involved in the solution